Welcome to the Anonymous Podcast. Well, here you stay anonymous. Well, today we're going to talk about some culture shock. Look, I know a lot of people going to say, well, this is not my grandma. My grandma don't do it like that, and she make food better than this. Hey, listen, we ain't talking about your grandma. We're just talking about what we experienced and what we've seen. So I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you start off with this culture shock.
Okay, and my disclaimer is I know all white people are not like this. So again, we're just talking about like what we've experienced between each other, in the time that we've spent together. So the first thing that was probably that came to mind with the culture shock was like the differences in churches and funerals and things that surround that whole group of things. So I guess like starting with with the churches, I experienced them growing up in the church, in all white churches, Southern Baptist to be specific. And so I had an idea of how things went accordingly to that. And then the first time that I went to an all black church, it was a not a shock, but it definitely was something different based on the music, the style of the preacher, how they're how maybe the deacons move, how there's usher ladies, and the way people dress and things like that was definitely like different to me.
Yeah, yeah. I know. When I first started, first time I went to a white church, it felt like I was in school or something like that. I remember just everything. It wasn't much singing, and the difference in the singing was crazy from what I've experienced. In my church, people usually dancing in the in the aisles, falling up under the pews and stuff like that. um, what you so you saying like when you went a lot of times you went to the church, let's say when you was growing up, a lot of time, okay, people do shout, but do they usually sit down and stay in their lane?
Yeah. I didn't know what catching the Holy Ghost was until I went to a black church
Yeah,
and was like, what's going on? I mean, I've heard people, raise their hands and like praise God and, you know, um, and the preacher saying something they agree with, yes, like kind of be the hype man in a situation, but it's still very mellow, very calm, very collected. It's not a whole lot of fans going, a whole lot of sweating.
yeah, yeah. I know. The first time I went to a funeral, a white funeral, it was like it was real calm. It was sad, of course. It was a funeral, but I know every time I go to a black funeral, you almost have to prepare because when you first get there, you like, man, I'm gonna try to keep it together. You usually sit in the back and stuff, and then you have that one person that girl come up and start singing. She if you ever seen the movie Hustle and Flow, that one lady that was on there that was singing that song, Jesus, He changed. That song right there, man. You always have that at the funerals, in the black community. I know the white funerals they be sad, and you have the women or men that get up there and sing. They sing and stuff, but you able to keep it together a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know, like, I've been to a lot of black funerals that, like, it start off, you like, man, okay, I done got through that first round. But then that one girl come up and sing, you just done lost your mind. So then you have to step out and stuff. Then when you come back, people laying up on the pews and stuff, wigs hanging from the side of the chairs and stuff. Auntie Niecy then fell the fuck out. And then everybody they just pulling folks out the church. It's crazy the way like black funerals just get down like that.
Yeah, we got to talk about this for the funerals because every white person wants to know why y'all take so long to bury somebody. What's why y'all got? Okay, so sorry about that, but it is y'all got awake, we got visitation.
Right.
So like, what is why y'all take so long to bury somebody?
Man, I don't know because even like celebrities, like you think about They take forever to bury people. It don't even be the thing about the money. I guess they waiting for other people to come from out of town or what. But I know, like, not being disrespectful, but man, the people be out the ground for a while, like, because I know it was one celebrity that passed away. That man, they didn't bury that man for a good month. I don't know what that about. I don't know. I don't know what they be waiting on. I mean, but they do stay out the ground for a long time.
Yeah, in my experience, it was always like, let's say somebody passed away, you having visitation in 2 or 3 days, and then the next day is the funeral, and it's usually short. I've never been to a white funeral where it was really, really long. You got the pastors speak, or you might have somebody sing one or two songs, but like you don't generally have like a bunch of family members come up or a bunch of like people from the church. You don't really have a whole lot of people, and it's usually pretty planned out. It's not like, okay, anybody else out there want to talk?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you didn't get put on the list, so you can't really come up yet.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing too. A lot of time in the black community, when the person was alive, you would hear them often say, I know plenty of people that in the past where they tell you like, listen, if I didn't mess with you when I was alive, don't stand over me lying. Don't stand over me talking about me, because I ain't gonna be able to do nothing to you. I've heard it a lot of times out of like older people, like old people that pass away. They like, look, if I didn't deal with you when I was alive, don't stand over me lying. Mm-hmm. I just don't need all that in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, they man, look, we guilty, bro. We definitely take ever to bury people, man.
Yeah, I do think y'all celebrate more like as a the celebration afterlife
Yeah.
thing versus once the funeral over. Typically with the white funerals, like you eat, you get together, you eat, but then that's it. There's not maybe a continuation at somebody's house, or there might be for the immediate family. Like they're gonna take care of somebody's spouse or kids, but
Yeah.
Y'all, from what I experienced, I got to go with you to experience something that was like a further celebration of life, where it was really joyous, lots of family, local friends, church friends, like, and it was just a really, really happy time of gathering food. The kids were there, so that's something that's very different too.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll do it like the next day. So let's just say if the funeral, or the next week. So let's just say the funeral on a Saturday. So then we'll have another thing. It kind of like, it's a small parade or a small fair, and you try to get everybody there. You have like fish fried, like maybe like a cookout, or like everybody brings some food and stuff like that, because you want to celebrate that the person was here, a happy moment and stuff like that. And we do believe that that person is there with us. A lot of times it be conversation about that person, and just to show them that we appreciate them when they was alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely going back to it, like, man, we definitely take a long time to bury folks.
Yeah.
I don't know what that about, because I know I was shocked when I seen like I went to a white funeral. The person passed away, and they was almost in the ground in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
But the black people, like, yeah, that man is out the ground, still out the ground in like 2 months. You're like, dog, man, they possibly done lost the body. But he was like, no, he's still over there. He's still in there now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of going in with that, church and celebrations, and, we're upcoming. We just had a holiday. We're about to have another holiday. So I think that was the next kind of shock that was different. The first time we ever celebrated a holiday together, I wasn't accustomed to the same things you were, and, vice versa when it came to Christmas and New Year's specifically. So like for me, there's always been a Christmas Eve and a Christmas, and there's always food involved and gifts and stuff like that, but nothing really like super traditional other than, decorating, very Christmassy oriented. But like, we've talked about like the different foods that are very specific to the, Black celebration versus white celebration, some traditions that you guys have that you were raised on that I wasn't raised on. And, so like the first one was the tree,
Yeah.
this Christmas tree, and then like the black eyed peas. So like,
Yeah.
You wanna explain what
Yeah,
that
like
is?
in the black household, with the black eyed peas, like it's two things you got to have on your plate for when the new year come in. It's black eyed peas and collard greens. So when people are like, man, what is black eyed peas and collard green? What you mean? Okay, I'm finna tell you what I mean. Black eyed peas is for luck, and collard greens was for money. Now I don't know who started that junk, but I'm telling you, like my mom, she have a business where she sell produce and stuff like that. And man, those people, like, they will fight you over some collard greens. And if a person don't have their collard greens by the start of the year, they can have the black eyed peas, but they don't have the collard greens. They think the rest of the year just over with. Like when the first come in, it's done. Like I don't know. Do you ever experience something like that? Do y'all have?
No, I
Yeah,
mean, not that I was raised on, and not like that I'm aware of, like in traditional sense. We always had like ham. That was
yeah,
very traditional. Like Thanksgiving is turkey, Christmas has ham. So
yeah,
that was really the only thing that was like food related, but nothing to do with New Year's. And like I know a lot of, you know, what I learned when we first met was a lot of black people go to church on New Year's Eve. Like
oh
they
yeah,
ring in the new year at church, and like I wasn't raised to do that.
yeah. Oh, well, I ain't know that, but yeah, we go to church on New Year's, but it's not like a mandatory thing. But yeah, that the black eyed peas and the collard greens, that's a mandatory. Like even if you don't have any meat, like a glass of water, but you got to have them too,
Yeah.
and some cornbread. The cornbread is for nothing. That's just to fill in a little gap. But yeah, collard greens and black eyed peas. That's a must. Collard greens for that money, and black eyed peas for that look. But
Well,
it don't never work though, cause at the end of the year, you still broke as hell.
speaking of luck, I remember the first year we celebrated together. I was trying to wash clothes,
Oh,
and you were like, "You can't wash clothes on New Year's."
yeah, yeah. Okay, so with the washing clothes thing, you got to have all your clothes washed by the first of the year, January 1st. Now it don't matter if December to whatever the last day December. It can be what 11:59. That's cool. That's cool. But that water better been turned off on that washing machine. If you find out somebody washing clothes and that clock hit 12 o'clock for the next day on the 1st of January, man, that's a problem. I'm talking about. I'll never forget. I had the clothes washing. My mama went crazy. Like I think I was in the 10th grade. Man, she argued about that junk all day because I had the washing machine on. I'm like, man, see, you over exaggerating about junk. No, you ain't. You know you were supposed to have that washing machine on before the rest of the year because you're gonna wash somebody out the family. Wash somebody out the family. Wash them out the family. Yes, talking about washing them out the family.
We do
Meaning,
not have
so
anything
you just
like that.
yeah. So you just you going to knock somebody out because you didn't take the washing machine on. Yeah, that I remember when I first heard that jump. Man, that jump was crazy. And then she used to say, with the Christmas tree. You need to have that Christmas tree out of here by the last day of December because if you don't, we're gonna have bad luck all year.
I remember
Like
the
who?
first year that we celebrated our holiday together. We had a real tree in our apartment, and it was New Year's Eve night, and it was like, oh shoot, like we literally just threw it out the front
Yeah.
door
With
and left it in the hallway because at least it was out of our apartment
yeah,
and in the hallway.
and the tinsels and stuff was all in the hall and stuff, and that was in the apartment. Like listen, man, we got to get that damn tree up out of here. Like, and that's something that is huge in the black community. Like, you need to make sure that tree is out the house and don't be washing no clothes. If you ain't wash clothes by then, well, you better go to work ass out because they don't want to hear that junk holler about no washing no darn clothes, man. Yeah.
Uh, and here, okay. So when you say culture shock between white and black, you already know where it's going. Cooking.
Yeah.
So that's a huge one.
Okay. Look.
You can
I
go.
remember when we first started talking, and I came over your house, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna cook something for you." I think it was breakfast the first time, that's when I kind of put you on like turkey bacon and stuff. And so I was cooking that bland junk. So I was cooking it, and then I looked up in the cabinet, there wasn't nothing but some salt and pepper, and I thought that shit was a myth. That shit was real, man. I was like, oh my
I
god.
might have had some parsley because I liked spaghetti.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. That junk was sitting in the bag though, probably expired.
And I know there's like we watch the food channel all the time. I know there's a lot of great cooks from all backgrounds,
Yeah.
but like when you come down to a lot of like just basic people, it's true. Like, but I think there's a big difference because like when you see like how we talk about food, man, white people can bake. They got the
Yeah.
cookies, the cakes, the little pastries, the whatever it is. But y'all got the ribs, the barbecue, the soul food. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a different style, but it's like very much each their own, you know. And this is obviously just like our experience, but
Yeah, I definitely think, and from my experience of being alive, or whatever, I think that I like. I mean, I guess it could be biased because I'm black, but I do like black people food, even though some of that junk give your ass hypertension. But it's good though, and I like their food the best. But I do like white people baking, not cakes so much because I think we can bang with them with cakes. But when it comes to like little pastries, like cookies and like those little pastries that you
little
see,
sandwiches.
yeah, like that. It's like the cookies was levitating in the oven because in the bottom they never have any burnt spots. I don't know I don't know how that's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, never
think-
have any burnt spot.
Though with white people, we talk about this is we show love a casserole dish.
Yeah. Oh man. So I went to let's check this out. I went to this private school my senior year in Macon, FPD. Man, I remember being in class after we had Thanksgiving. So we and I all talking about the food that we had. I think we was that was around the time we was reading Canterbury Tales or something stupid. But anyway, man, I remember this boy telling me, he said, man, we had a great Thanksgiving. I was like, for real, what y'all had? He said we had 15 different casseroles. I didn't know that shit was possible. I thought I've only heard of like we call a casserole well we call it a souffle. So you use sweet potatoes and like marshmallows on top.
Yeah.
And I've had some people put raisins and stuff in it. But I've never heard of that many casseroles. And what's crazy is then I remember later on that year I never heard of a casserole. I've heard of it, but like I never experienced one, like for real. My mom caught herself trying to make one a green bean casserole. That junk was so nasty. I told her, don't ever try to do it again. You stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, there's you got the green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, everything that we do, we put in one of those glass rectangular dishes. It's either clear or it's white. And so that's the only two dishes that you're going to put a casserole in. And then a lot of times they carry it in like a little heat container and like, but that's what they give at the funerals. That's what they give for birthdays.
Yeah.
Anything that you have food, showers, stuff like that, like you guaranteed to have some casseroles and some cookies.
But that's the thing, like, and that's why I say, man, everybody is needed in the world because I feel like everybody contribute because I've never had like little pastries and stuff like white people can make. It's like they sit there and if it don't come out right, they throw it in the trash can and just keep doing it until there's no kind of like burnt spots or blemishes on the food. Like I've never seen like chocolate chip cookies or like oatmeal cookies made that way in my life, and I've ate it a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how they do it. Maybe they got a special oven, or maybe it's a gift that they have now. I mean, I know some people say, well, my grandma, we ain't talking about your grandma. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
Like, I know, now black people can make some cakes. Now, I ain't gonna put you in that category, but when it comes to like cherry pies
Little
and stuff,
dessert mints.
yeah, those little dessert man. Who makes that kind of stuff? I thought
My grandmother could make them.
know what I'm saying? I thought you only buy that from the store. Like, who takes the time out to make a mint? No, we're not doing all that. So, like, with the cookies and chocolate chip cookies, all that stuff, I gotta give you the heads up on that. Like,
Yeah. So when like we talk about casseroles and all this bacon and stuff, another I wouldn't say culture shock, but I would say there's like those stereotype that is probably pretty prevalent, and what we've experienced is how y'all feel about a potluck.
Oh no. Like we'll come to it, but some kind of way we end up just eating our own food. Like
Why?
you, cause you don't eat everybody food. Some people let their cats and dogs hang out in the refrigerator. Like no, we do not eat everybody food. I've been told that ever since, man, I was elementary school.
Yeah.
Like you don't eat everybody. I know it's the church and stuff like that, but some people don't wash their pots.
Yeah, and that is one thing that and I know everybody like different, but I did not get raised to like
Ain't that-
don't eat everybody food. Not only on the cleanliness level, but like, some people don't cook with good intention or, just I mean, everybody do different things, but like how they prepare their food because like in this house, we wash our chicken.
Yeah, yeah, and some people don't wash their chicken. And if you're a person that don't wash your chicken, I'm sorry. Just tell me I never eat your food because I know you'll say, "Well, it don't." You spreading the germs everywhere. Well, won't you clean the sink? Clean the sink, the outside the sink. Like, why would I? Why would I go and eat something? Okay, it's bad enough I have to eat the chicken. I don't know what's wrong with chicken now. It don't have no taste. But why would I have to go and? Why would I go eat some chicken? And you got salmonella taking a sunbath on the surface, and you done fried it, and you eating that too. Like I know you ain't gonna wash all of it away, but God, dog, you got feathers in there, everything sticking out the chicken, and you talking about some you don't wash your chicken. You nasty. Like
Yeah,
I'm,
you taught me to wash chicken.
yeah,
And then bleach the sink.
yeah, and bleach the sink like for real. Take the time out to do that. You think about it. You look at chicken, and this how you can tell too if the chicken been laying out. If you look at the plastic, if the plastic swollen, that mean the chicken been kind of overheating, like not too bad, like not spoiling anything. It could be, but it release gases when it sit there and it's not kept at the right temperature, so it'll be kind of bloated like a little balloon. So you want the plastic on there to kind of sit on the chicken or whatever. So they feel around in the packet. They put a little bit of air now because they want to make it look good, but feel around on the packet and stuff. You want to have less air as you can because a lot of times when you have those big bloated things like that, yeah, it just been sending some heat.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff with food that's and I know we talk really from like a southern perspective too because we grew up in the South, and so I know that there's differences. Friends that we might have in different parts of the U.S. like they cook and eat and things like that. So we definitely talking about like the southern
Yeah.
perspective. Another like I guess you could say culture shock. In a way, a lot of people be shocked by things as a stereotype. Maybe it's all out there on the internet, but is hygiene.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, that what they say, like back in the day, the Moors taught the Europeans and the Spaniards, like how to properly bathe. But like, when we got together, we had a debate about bar soap versus liquid soap versus wash rags and, all that stuff. I've even recently had someone say, do white people wash their face in the morning?
Oh.
And I do.
Yeah.
And I always have, but maybe that's a female thing. I don't know. So,
Yeah. Well, I'll let you speak on that part because I don't know what y'all do in the morning. Well, I kind of know what you do, but yeah, we do wash our face, but using the bar soap growing up, yeah, people used to use the bar soap. I look back on that junk. That junk is so nasty. Maybe hair on there, all kind of stuff. I don't use bar soap now, but back when you was younger, that's what they used to sell. Pretty much, you had bar soap.
You buy it like bulk, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, people used to have bar soap. So anybody that listen to this, ill saying all that, yeah, your mama probably used to use bar soap or your daddy. So stop trying to act like you so cute, because y'all ain't always had all the little dispensers and stuff. Because I remember you would go to the store, bar soap was everywhere. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that bar soap, yeah. But some people don't use wash rags. Now I'm gonna tell you, when I was in college, my roommate came out of the bathroom, and I'm like, bro, where your rag at? What you talking about? What I'm talking about, bro? Where your rag at? I said, well, how you wash your butt? Like straight up. And he talking about, man, I used the soap my hand. Your hand. Now we all know what got doing. Now don't y'all try to act cute on here. You know when you go use the bathroom, number 2. Some of y'all number 3 because y'all just eating thing. You got to wash your butt. But I've heard of people that don't wash in their butt. Dying in there. And the first time it used to be guys. They said, man, that's nasty. That you man, you that insecure, you don't wash your butthole? Like, that's disgusting. Like, I've never in my life, ever since I've been a kid, that I can remember, not having a rag. I've always had a rag. You have 2 of them. You have one for your body, one for your face. You know.
Yeah. Now that's a difference. But I grew up using wash rags, and any girls I've ever lived with, like, we've always used wash rags. I think that may just be like how we taught, because of our bodies, like, we have to be very careful and very specific about how we wash as well. But that's definitely like a point of like differences you see on the internet. You see it on TV shows that they make jokes about, like, we don't know how to bathe, and not only do we not know how to bathe, but maybe like we don't know how to take care of our teeth, or like our skin always is dry, or hair. A lot of things that like is different between us.
And that's the thing. We'll get on the teeth, but to go right back on the loofah, it's a lot of, I've met guys. If you're a dude, it's okay to play with the loofah, but you need to have a wash rag and scrub your body. If you call yourself just using the loofah, you need to do some soul searching, because that's disgusting. We know your butt dirty, straight up, because you probably got doo-doo in the loofah because it got them little holes in there. I'm just being real. So if you find a problem with that, that's your problem. Okay, let's get to the teeth. So on the teeth, I think. Do you feel like in the white community, is that focused on, like, do y'all talk about teeth a lot? Because in the black community, we always talk about teeth.
Well, I think it just depends. Like, maybe as a girl, like, I grew up wanting to have my teeth really straight. So I had braces, and I had all that like dental stuff where my teeth would be straight. But like, looking and comparing, like, I don't think there was like a huge emphasis on frequency of brushing, flossing, using rinses, like the real proper, like, intense, like, how many times a day do you brush your teeth?
I probably, if I'm home, if I don't have to, if I don't go anywhere, man, I can brush my teeth probably about 6 times a day. Because I get up, I got to brush my teeth. Some people get up and eat breakfast first and then brush their teeth. I can't eat with all that shit in my mouth. I feel like I'm eating something. So I eat. So I brush my teeth, wash my face, everything like that. Then I eat. After I eat, I have to brush my teeth again. That's 2. After I brush my teeth, after I eat, okay, I go through the day, and then let's just say if I go somewhere and I eat, let's say if I go somewhere and I come back home and eat lunch, I gotta brush my teeth before I eat lunch. Because I've been out drinking stuff and everything. My teeth feel dirty again. That 3. Okay. So after you got to keep up with the number. That 3. So then after I brush my teeth for lunch. Okay. All right, I ate. And then after I ate, I feel like I got to brush them bitches again. That's what? 4. Then after that, okay, I go through the day, whatever. Then I come back home after I work out, get ready to eat dinner, though. That's 5 right there. Okay, that's getting ready to eat dinner. Okay, after I do that, then, golly, ain't no, I mean, it really is 6.
Yeah.
So after I sometimes and then that's 6 before I go to sleep. I can brush my.
Sometimes 7, 8.
Yeah, just depends on. Yeah, I am very, very funny about my teeth, because I like people get veneers and stuff. Even though some people get them, they look like chiclets, But I like pretty teeth, and that was something like my dad was real adamant about having pretty teeth or having pretty teeth.
Yeah.
And that's something that I have, because you got to think about it. Your teeth is the first thing a person see, especially when you're a dude. When you smile at a girl and she like your smile, is on.
Yeah.
Like, for real, and that's one thing. Like, I always try to take care of my teeth and want to have pretty teeth, because I remember when I first when we first moved up to Atlanta, I probably dropped about $6,000 on my mouth. Like, because I was real adamant about all my feelings, getting new feelings. When you're younger, you get feelings, and I wanted to make everything in my mouth upgraded and take care of my teeth. And that's some huge for me. I never want veneers, because sometimes they can look fake and they just too white. Your teeth aren't supposed to be stupid white, like snow white like that.
Yeah.
But I've always tried to take care of my teeth, and that's big for me. And I think too, like with the hair washing, let's talk about that.
Yeah, because that's a big, that is definitely something that is very different culturally. And I'm not just talking about hair texture, but I'm talking about the representation, the meaning of hair. Growing up for a long time, anybody who knew me, I've always had long hair, long hair. That was just like what I liked. But I wasn't raised to not let somebody touch my hair.
Yeah.
Of course, like people aren't as interested in my hair, because it's plain. Yeah. But, that was something that I learned when I started working, and making, being around different people and friends, especially older women, let me know, like, hey, we don't let people touch. I wasn't trying to touch anybody's hair. Let's put that out there. But that, that was something that they were teaching these young girls in our job. Like, don't let people just touch your hair. Don't let anybody do your hair. But then I would see them do each other's hair, boys and girls, like not just a girl thing, but I would see the girls be combing through the boys' hair before they got it plaited down, stuff like that. And so that was really new to me to see that exchange and that like amount of attention taken.
Yeah, I think one flaw in the white community is that y'all take y'all hair for granted. Because that was one thing that kind of attracted me to you at first, because I saw you from a way far, but I saw your hair. Your hair was real long, and I remember asking somebody that was working with you about you because of your hair. That was the first time I saw your hair. It was the craziest thing. I saw your hair the first time I really like started paying attention to you. But yeah, and then also we're gonna stay on the hair, but like in the black community as a male, we've told like you have to be aware of the women that you mess around with, because they can it's like this belief that people have a lot of times, and I don't know, a lot of people ain't never heard it, but like you don't let anybody give you spaghetti, because it's known like if a woman put period blood in your spaghetti, like you can't leave her. Ask your great grandma about it, or your grandma about it, or your daddy that's older about it. He'll know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. It's like a saying, because I guess you'll be attracted to someone by their hormones or something.
But that's with the hair too, not letting anybody just touch your hair.
Yeah, and you don't let anybody just touch on your hair, like, because my son has tons of hair, and I don't let nobody touch his hair at all. A lot of times you hear like black females, they will say, that's my strength. But it's also like people like to just, I don't know, they infatuated by people's hair, mm-hmm. And I just don't want to have no part of that infatuation type thing. But I remember growing up that I always used to smell a hot comb in the morning. People say what a hot comb is. So it's maybe it's a steel comb, but the handle of it is wood. And I remember they used to sit it on the my mom used to sit it on the stove, and it would heat up. You can't let it heat up like red hot because it'll burn your hair, but you let that sucker heat up just a little bit. And I remember they used to tap it on their hand. They would tap it on their hand real quick to make sure it ain't too hot. And it has this smell to it. It don't smell like burnt hair, but it has this smell just like hot coffee, like Starbucks had that strong smell. But it's a smell you can't explain. You have to grow up in that household. And like they used to strain hair. I never forget that jump, man. I remember girls and stuff used to come to school with their hair straightened, and they would smell like that Blue Magic or that pink lotion. Man, that jump, boy, she come with that hair be laid down like that, and you have that two ponytails. You have a ponytail on each side and one to the back. Bro, we used to go crazy back when we was little like that. And them girls come to school with their hair done and stuff like that. You cannot, and that was a Tamagotchi. Little gigapets on your hip, man. You had that, man. She was choosing. I remember back then. I probably about 13, 12, 10. I remember that back in the day. Like you can't duplicate that junk. You gotta experience it for yourself.
Yeah, and I think that was just something that was new, for me. Was like the importance and the care taken. Yeah, and you're right though. I think can take it for granted because it was so easy to just like wash and go with my hair.
Yeah.
But I learned through like our job and friends and everything like that, just the care and the love that you're supposed to give your hair, because like your head is your crown. And for Black people, they've had to do a lot of fighting for hair, justice. And so that was a huge culture shock.
Yeah, and also something that we do. It don't even have to be your girlfriend, but we'll sit between a girl's legs and let her like scratch our hair. When I used to have hair, I used to do that. But even with a bald head, you can get her to rub your head or something like that. But it's just a time for like connection. Not even they don't even have to be your girlfriend. You can have a girlfriend and just go get somebody to do your hair and wash your hair. It's like it's connection, relaxation thing. Because I remember when we first started talking, you used to wash my hair. Like, even if we've been to work, because we were working at the same place at the time, but we would take time to like go in the bathroom and like stand in the bathroom in the mirror, and you would wash my hair, and we would just sit there and talk while you washing my hair. I know the first time I asked you to do that, you kind of it throwed you off, but like that's something that we do. You take time. It's like it separates you from the world. You're able to just sit there and you talk about the same thing you talked about in the car, but it's something about like just washing hair. That could be something from back in the day that we adopted now, but man, that's definitely like something big in my community of getting your hair braided and stuff. Some girls will braid your hair for free just because they want to see what your hair would look like if they did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's huge. Like I can remember growing up, having people scratch my hair and stuff like that, and you don't even have to have it on no girlfriend, boyfriend tip. Like just sit down and let somebody scratch your head, or like just play in your hair, let your hair down and just comb your hair and stuff like that. Like that's something that's huge for us.
Yeah. That was something that I think a lot of people see as the big differences when it comes to culture. Another one is that we've got often talked about, especially as we've gotten older and raising our son, is like the different mannerisms, the different way that different communities interact with people, things that maybe I wouldn't notice if someone did, maybe something somebody else noticed, like just even down to the language. Like one example I can think of is, from like personal experience, but also like working in any type of like service industry, whether it be food or like retail type stuff, is what I see a lot of times. We're going to hit the hard note of privilege. Like the white privilege is like that it's expected. So like I'm expected to do whatever you ask me to do because I'm the cashier or I'm a server or, whatever it is. Like you just see me as somebody who fold clothes. Like, hey, give me that.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, hey, can you help me find, this blue small? Hey, go get me that kind of stuff. And I think that's something that was a shock to you, when we kind of had that conversation.
Yeah, I can remember being younger, and my mom always told me like, people they have a job and they're important too. So when you ask for something, you say may I or even can I, can if you say can I, that means am I allowed to, pretty much, so. It's important. So if you order something from a restaurant or something like that, you say, yes, can I get this, or can I please have this right here? Don't say something to somebody like, give me this, get that, because back when I was growing up, you probably get a whipping for that, like for real, because really that makes you grow up and be a asshole.
Yeah, I got told like, well, that's their job, so you're just telling them what to do. But I never felt that way, and I'd always try to just be like, mostly just proper with like my manners, on asking thank yous and pleases and, may I have a number 6, like that type of stuff, just because I don't feel like I'm owed nothing, just because that's somebody's job, because we've had to work those jobs. We work those jobs with bachelor's and master's degrees, so like I don't never look down on nobody with their job. And I think that's that was one thing too, even just kind of going on with the manners, like when I would be little and go to a grandparent's house, I just go in the fridge, like I just go get something to drink. Like I never thought about asking permission because it was like a family member's house, but like I learned that from you, that's a little different in how you were raised.
Yeah, you can't me going into, I remember I used to go to my grandma's house. the first thing you have to do is, if you want something, you need to wash your hands, because your hands been everywhere. Think about the stuff that you do all day. You have no business in somebody's refrigerator with some dirty hands. Then you ask them, because at the end of the day, they bought that stuff.
Yeah.
So you like, hey, grandma, can I get something to drink? And she'll say, yeah, no, get the hell out of my refrigerator or whatever. But you gotta ask, like, you don't own nothing in that house. You don't pay not one bill, so you don't have no reason to go in nobody's refrigerator.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. You make sure you wash your hands when you go in people's house.
Yeah, that was one thing I was just used to, like, oh, it's my grandparents' pantry or their fridge, like we can just go do it. And then, now that's something that we make sure we raise our on is like you wash your hands and say, even teaching our, like, can I get some more something, whatever, instead of just feeling like you just can go grab, that bottle of Gatorade.
Yeah, and two, it wasn't a situation where, everything was real robotic. Like, don't do this, stay out my refrigerator. No. But you got to ask a person first. Once you ask them, then that'll open up the gates for you, like, to be able to go in there and cook and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you don't, if it's something, some juice in there, don't drink the last bit.
Yeah.
Like, that's that person's juice. Don't drink the last thing or leave a swallow in there.
Swallow.
Don't leave that in there a little bit.
You
Person
left a
going
swallow
down.
in there.
Damn, apple juice, you left a teaspoon in there. You might as well go on and drink the whole thing. That's some silly shit.
But I was trying to leave you a little bit.
Yeah, see that I hate that junk. They go on and drink the whole thing and hide it. How about that? Yeah, I've had people do me like that, and that's the instant we rolling on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Just go on and drink the whole thing. Or don't do it, because that's silly.
Yeah.
Don't do that kind of stuff.
I think that's like an old school mentality that, you hear more about in, your community is that old school. What's an old school head, an old head? That's not really something that I grew up hearing or, terminology that I used, before we met, because I didn't know what an old head was, or like, knowing how someone that's older does things a certain way that young people don't pick up on, and I think that, it comes from being naive a little bit. You don't know what you don't know. And that was something I had to learn from you, was like what some old men are kind of known for, in your community.
I don't know I don't know about white men, shoot, but I mean, that's something that somebody would have to tell me. But I know, like, older black men, maybe 50 and up, 60 and up. My mom told me a long time ago that they'll do stuff like, you have to watch your girl around them and stuff, because they'll shake her hand. You might think it's a regular handshake, but what they'll do is they'll take, like, their middle finger and, like, feel around in the inside of her hand. Now, if you a black person, go ask your daddy.
Like tickling the palm.
Yeah, like with their middle finger. You'll never see it, though. Go ask your mom or your grandma about it. She gonna be like, oh, how you know about it? Who told you about it? It's so inappropriate, and that's how a person can hit on your girl, hit on your wife, and you not even knowing. And if you got one of them wives out there that's loose, it's over with. I'm telling you right now. Like, and even she probably don't even pick up on it. But yeah, they'll touch the inside of her hand like that, junk. So inappropriate.
Yeah, I think it just goes how you just don't let everybody touch you. Like, you don't know the energy and what they're trying to do with that little wiggly finger.
Yeah, they definitely do that, John. Cause I've my dad used to talk about it. My mom told me about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you say though is probably the most shocking culturally, or lack thereof culture, that you experienced? I guess to kind of like wrap it up.
I would say allowing the kids to kind of wild out, because I think my first time I saw it was I was in the store, and I saw this lady. She was like, listen, I'm gonna just use the word Johnny was in it. Listen, Johnny, stop. I'm not gonna buy that for you. This little boy slapped his mama in the face, and everybody in the store was like, oh. You know how you have that, or maybe that was in my head, I was exaggerating, but I know everybody seen it, and I was like, man, if I was young and I did that, man, it was over with. Because I know growing up, even like when grown people on the phone, kids can't be in the same room.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, like if your mama tell you, she'll tell you just like this, I'm on the phone, you need to get out of here. That's it. That was your warning. And then if she say, if she have to say it again, just know you about to get a whipping when she get off the phone. It don't even matter if she even forgot about it. She just gonna look at you and remember it.
Yeah.
Like you gonna get a whipping. And that's the thing. Like if you hear a black person say, okay, I'll be back. Don't worry about it. You stay right there. Stay right there. I'll be back. You don't stay right there. Don't listen to them that time. Like you be gone when they walk back. When you see they back, they need to see your back. You need to be leaving. They gonna. I tell you what. I'll be back. When they start stuttering, they mean they thinking about doing something to you.
That reminds me of like a phrase that I first heard that I didn't hear growing up was, "Why are you in my mouth?"
Yeah.
I said, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why are you in my mouth?" I learned what that meant, and I think that was, that, and I heard it I heard it in the phrase of an adult saying it to a kid, and I was like, "What does that, like, what the world does that mean?" But I quickly learned like what that meant,
Yeah.
and that you stay out of my mouth, like. Stay out of my business. That's what we would say. Like, why are you in my business? Mind your business. But, so that, it's just a little bit of a different like language use. But that was definitely one thing, that. And another one that's different is y'all say whooping.
Yeah.
We say spanking.
No, a whipping is different because a spanking is like one little stop, don't do that no more. But that right there only just makes it worse for the future because you have to understand this, like, and just being honest, we have to raise our kids different because when we get older and we get treated different out there. I don't care what a person believes, but the facts is the facts. Just look at it. Look on the news. We get treated different. So you got to let your kid understand that, listen, this ass that you showing right now, when you get older and do that, they'll lay you down. So we don't have a space or a time to sit there and baby you. If I tell you no, what no mean?
What no
and
mean?
that's exactly what we're gonna tell you. Sit your behind down, and we're not finna sit here and negotiate. I'm not negotiating with a 4-year-old. That's unnecessary for my time and my space on the planet. I don't have time to sit there and negotiate nothing. I ask you to sit down. I'm gonna tell you only one time, and I'm just gonna look at you. Just know when I turn back around.
Because what stop mean?
Stop means stop. What that mean? That's exactly what I'm gonna ask you. I told you stop, right? So what stop mean? I don't want to hear nothing. I'm asking you simply to do what you're supposed to do. Because when you get older, they're not gonna ask you. They're gonna say freeze, but they're gonna already been shot at you. That is exactly what we have to teach our kid. And regardless of what people want to believe or whatever, we just saying the facts. It's just the facts. You have to raise your kids. We have to raise our kids differently because it's not fair out there. And that's a whole nother conversation, but it's the truth.
Yeah, we have to have that another day.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely like if you're dealing with somebody in the black community, if somebody say what I said when they start that stuttering like that, it's over with. Just go ahead and don't worry about it. So that's your head. So
yeah, and then like I know we talked like some funny things, heavy things, but it's all at the end of the day like it's what makes the world like a good place is that people are different and we have different experiences to share with each other, and share with friends and that kind of thing. Like it's a cool thing to learn about something that's different from how maybe you grew up or. And sometimes you learn something and you want to be that way. You change maybe some things that we have said on here. Maybe you change your hygienes or you change your foods or you change, your manners and, being polite, So sometimes it's awesome to learn about, something else that's new instead of being stuck in the same way all the time.
yeah, and that's something to touch on as a safety thing too. Before we wrap this up. On one of the podcasts, I think it was the second episode, we talked about the lights being out. I know you had someone say something to you that they didn't know about that, but that's a huge thing. Like you think about nightclubs and stuff, when people turn the lights out, or if it's dark and people get to fighting, it take away all your senses.
Yeah,
and a lot of time people might not intentionally turn the lights out to fight you, but they unconsciously did that. But then did that shit in the physical and turn them lights out to kind of like scare you and to get you out of your element.
Yeah.
And that's something that people have to think about. If something feels unsafe, women, it feels unsafe. Even the guys, if you feel unsafe, it's unsafe.
and that goes across all cultures.
Yeah, that goes all across all cultures. If you feel unsafe and you think you need to, because even you think about it, QT, they got safe spots. I never knew about it until
Like
one
little
time you
safe
told me.
safe place signs.
Yeah. So if you've been abused and stuff like that, you man, do what you got to do to get out of there. You
Yeah.
know, and that's in the black community. We talk about that all the time. You know, you have some people that husband be abusing them and stuff, but black community won't stand for that jump because we got cousins or brothers. They coming to see you. Yeah, they definitely coming to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all you got for them.
Yeah, I think that's I think those are all the like big heavy like really noticeable things that were different like as you know as our years have gone by that we've you know between our different life experiences and how we were raised. It's
Oh, and before we get out of here, all the people, I'm gonna check your age on this one.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
y'all remember that we used to get those CDs in the mail? AOL used to send those CDs, and then when you download the CD, it'll stay on by 30 days. And then when somebody on, you say you got mail, and then when they
Yep.
don't want to talk to you, that door closed like.
Yep.
But you trying to talk to somebody and slam the door in your face.
AOL online.
Yeah, I remember that, man. I just thought about that early today. And also, I remember back when I was in school, the girls used to have those hairpins. What you think the name of them? They push up and they connect. They look like little forks. They push up, and then
Yeah.
also the clamps. They look like little butterflies.
Yeah, that I know the little butterfly clips. I can't think of the name of the other ones, but the little butterfly clips, and we
Yep.
all had those in middle school, different
Yep.
colors. They was like iridescent, and everybody parted their hair in the middle, and
Yep.
you pinned that junk back, and you thought you was cute.
Yeah, I remember that. We was
I
just
thought I was cute. I did definitely had those.
we was talking about that or whatever, and the Gigapets and the Tamagotchis and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Man, those are days. But yeah, like I always tell you guys, we'll see you again on next Wednesday. Again, I always remember that you're beautiful, and if you got somebody you're dealing with dating, they make you feel like you're ugly, or a terrible person, you might need to get rid of them and have a conversation. If they don't want to hear, hey, that's their problem.
yeah.
All right, we'll be seeing you guys, and just hold on in there because you'll be all right.